Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a short video going over pipes and how you can use pipes to kind of reorient how you code. So pipes become really useful within the tidyverse, and so actually if you did install packages and do tidyverse, if you installed tidyverse like I did in the previous video, you will actually have this ability to use pipes. And I'll get to how you do that first. But first I just wanted to show you an example of coding. So let's load data and load the iris dataset. So the iris dataset, if you were curious, it's again a dataset that's already packaged into R. It's Fisher-Anderson's iris dataset, gives the measurements of sepal length and width of various flowers. Not super important because I'm going to ignore what it actually is anyways for the purpose of this demonstration. But let's just say that this is how you were going to use R, and you're just like, checking some stuff out right now. So I have iris loaded, and you can see there's sepal length and the various species of flowers, sepal width, or petal length, etc. And let's just pretend that I'm using this data, and these are actually in that the sepal length we're going to pretend are actually log transformed or ln transformed values that I, for whatever reason, that's how they was coded and that's how they were put up on the data frame that I ended up downloading here. So, and I want to find the average sepal length. Well, that means that I need to take these values here of sepal length, I need to do e to those values, and then I take the mean of that. And so how you would code that normally in R would be to say, well, I need to take iris and sepal length, but then I need to do e to that. And so how you do that would be to do exp, and that's stands for exponent, and the normal exponent is considered to be e. So if you did exp1, just by the way, it's 2.7 or e. And then I want to take the mean of that value. And so you can see that you kind of code and you work from the inside out. And this is how you would interpret the code as well. If you were going to try to figure out what this code was, you'd go and first start. And one thing that can be nice is that if you double click right outside of the parentheses, it will actually highlight from that first parentheses to the last parentheses, which could be complicated in a code like this, where this is one line of code. And it's not necessarily clear where this first, so the first parentheses ends all the way there, but where does the second one end? It actually is right here. And so it helps you kind of interpret and go through this. That was the example that I was potentially going to use to show pipes off, but I think this is just going to be a little bit more straightforward. So let's, run this, and you get that it's 492. So whatever the units are. Now, this is one way to do it, but there's another way to do it with the sort of pipes. And piping notation allows you to do things in a little bit more of a straightforward manner. So, remember how before I wanted to say, well, the way you think of it. So I wanted to take sepal length, and then I wanted to do something with that. How you can do it is that it is in that package that I mentioned that was downloaded in Tidyverse. You could just download this package by itself. But if you do library, Magrittr, click on that and load that into the library. And there's a couple of different functions that that it allows you to do, but the actual thing that you want to do is, and I'll type it out here, % greater than %. And you notice that it's now grayed in, kind of like how before %in % became grayed out, meaning that it's like a function or something that R actually knows what to do with it. The other way, again, there's always a shortcut. So if you hit on a PC, let me just delete it so it's not there, Control-Shift-M, you can just put in as many pipes as you want. I believe that would probably be Command-Shift-M for you Mac users. So what does a pipe do is it takes the results from the one line of code and allows you to pipe it into the next function that you're using. So if I were going to rewrite this example, remember how I started with iris sepal length, and then I was like, oh, then I want to do something with it. And you can hit enter as well to kind of like space it out so you can have one line per function. You don't need to, it's just, you could put it right here, but it might be make your code be a little bit more interpretable. Now I wanted to do the exponent of it, and all I need to put is exp, and it already takes the result here and makes it the first value that would be put into here. And then I wanted to take the mean of that. So if you remember, the result from here was 492. Now if I run this and control enter, because it's piped, it will pipe and continue to run the code. So I'll actually run these 3 lines. As you notice, you can see that there's this like plus symbol here, and you get the same thing out. So this is a kind of a convenient way to code, and you can see how it could be particularly useful. Just like, it is a little bit more natural to think about coding in this way, and it can make it a little bit easier to interpret as well. When you're going back to viewing your own code, you can see like, oh, I remember why I did this, or, you know, instead of, it maybe needs a little bit less explanation. Though, of course, more comments are always good. Hopefully your code is well commented always. So that was just an introduction to pipes. You'll actually find that this becomes a lot more useful when you have when you're using the tidyverse functionalities. We haven't really gotten to that, but you can make some nice piped operations. There's a nice little We Are Our Ladies Twitter account that actually had a nice little thing about how to explain pipes to R stats newbies. And you can see here that it's basically a little bit more familiar because it is just and then do this, basically. It's used to perform sequential tasks, so you can see how they use it here. I woke up, piped to shower, piped to dressed, piped to glammed up, piped to took breakfast, piped to showed up to work, right? And, you know, if you were going to write it in pipes, or not in a piped way, you'd have to go and work your outside in words, but here you can actually just say first, then this, then this. So I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.